Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenges that kids face who grow up in a abusive family. And by abusive I mean verbally abusive environment, physically abusive environment, or emotionally abusive environment. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about what are the challenges that these kids face. I have also grown up in an abusive background, and I did have a lot of challenges. So I mean, this video is a compilation of the challenges that I faced, plus the research that I did about the challenges that these kids face. And so basically it's a a combination of both what I read and what I experienced. So if you see, when we are raised in an abusive family, we are not parented to believe that we are enough. Yeah, and that is one of the reasons because of which we often spend our majority of time and often spend a huge portion of our life in trying desperately to prove that we are enough. And we try to prove that we are enough very desperately, whether it be family, whether it be outside world, I mean anyone and everyone. So since we were not raised to believe that we were enough, a huge amount of our time and time in life goes into proving that we are enough. That is in a way quite challenging, and that challenging does create a lot of problems, blocks, and a lot of dysregulated emotions, and we are unable to process things. Yeah, because we already grow up believing that we are not enough, and by being not enough, of course it shows that we have got low confidence, low self-esteem, and low self-worth. And just to compensate that of not being enough, we overdo, we go to any extent to prove once and for all we are enough. Yeah, so I mean, like I used to do it. I can't deny or hesitate, and I have seen a lot of people also who do that. And until unless they realize, they accept, and they choose to heal, when is the time when they put a full stop to this vicious cycle of being pressured and going on trying to prove. Now also in an abusive family dynamic, we are made to believe. Yeah, we are made to believe. So there are two sides to it. Often we are made to believe, and often we begin to have this realization, and that realization is that our role in the relationship is to meet the needs or help people meet their needs. Yeah, so the first point that I said was not being enough, then overdoing and desperately trying to be enough and prove enough. The second point is that we often believe, and often we are made to believe, it goes both the way, that we are in a relationship to meet others' need, and that again causes a lot of impediment, because we keep searching what is our need, what is our purpose in this relationship. Not every relationship has a purpose, and if people think it that way, that's absolutely, scary and inhumane to, think of a relationship with a purpose. Yeah. And coming back to these kids, I mean, like kids like me who grow up in an abusive family dynamics, we grow up, trying to see the purpose of ours in others' life, and how we can, make others meet their needs. So in a way, we start making us responsible for others' happiness, to meet others' needs. We start taking a lot of burden on our shoulder, which later on in life chokes us, which makes us feel suffocated. And then we react in a lot of weird ways with other relations. So in family, we grow up, thinking that we have a purpose in the family, and we have a role to play, and that purpose and role is to meet others' need, or to help others meet their need. Yeah. So it's a very complicated situation, and we do struggle a lot, and because of that, we often do a lot of mistakes, in over proving ourselves. We often go to the wrong path, we resort to wrong activities, we go through a lot of turbulence, just to help others meet their need, and to prove that we are enough. Yeah. So this is what goes, this is what happens, or this is what goes behind the minds of kids. I mean, kids like me, those who grow up in an abusive family dynamics. And also, one more important, or rather major problem that we all face is that as it is, since beginning, we are made to feel that we are not enough, and because of which we go on doing, so that we are validated that we are enough and good and best. We are also, because of this not being enough, and being in that rat race of trying to prove that we are enough, we are also scared of abandonment. Yes, kids, those who grow up in abusive family dynamics, are scared of abandonment. And this abandonment, I mean, like relationship abandonment, or fear of being abandoned, this in fact stops us. This fear of abandonment basically stops us, because we are, as it is, in a race to prove that we are enough and we are worthy. And because of that, we take up roles of peacekeepers. So we avoid telling the truth, we avoid telling how miserable we feel. And we do that basically so that our parents or the family members feel that we are enough, and they don't abandon us. Yeah. So this insecurity grows, this insecurity grows in people like us since childhood, is because that we are, as it is, not enough. Again, as I said earlier in this video, that leads to low self-esteem, low self-worth, insecurity, low confidence, and overall this builds up. And this builds up in such a way that we start believing that if we share the truth, and the other family member might judge us, or might not like it, or might hate us and abandon us. So that is also one of the, conflicting thoughts, that goes in our minds, into the minds of kids who grow up in dysfunctional family dynamics. And because of this fear of loss, uh, we never experience balance in relationship, neither in the family nor in the other relationships that we have. So I mean, I had a very disbalanced relationship with my family, and the same problem I had with my other relationships, be it friends, cousins, relatives, my love relationship. So the disbalance was everywhere. Yeah. And I was always scared of telling the truth, because I was scared if I'll say the truth about how I'm feeling, or if I'm not liking to what they are saying, or if I'm disagreeing, they would, as it is, don't find me enough, they would just abandon me. So because of that fear, again, I used to be like, okay, I won't share how I'm feeling, it's fine. So this entire abusive family dynamics actually, create a lot of impediment, invisible impediment, into the lives of the children. And it's quite problematic. We grow up as if, we are in amidst of a, storm in a sea, and we are just on a small little, boat, and we are not equipped, we don't know how to swim. There is no life jackets, or there is nothing, and we are just in a, in one fine night, we are in the sea, and the sea is looking very bad, and we really don't know how to manage and handle it. So this is the kind of feeling and experience that children who grow up with a lot of these impediments, face in their adulthood. And because of that, these children are more prone to, getting into further more toxic and abusive relationships, and being, preyed upon, or being a victim of emotional abuse or any kind of abuse. So they attract a lot of other abusers, because as it is, we as kids were abused in our family. Yeah. And I mean, on various levels the abuse can be, and because of that, we have the same pattern. We have not, we did not break free from that pattern. We have not chosen to heal ourselves, and because of the same pattern, it begins to reflect in our personality and behavior also. And that is what attracts a lot of predator towards us. Yeah. So I mean, predators are there, and not the predator from the movie Predator or some animal. I'm talking about human predators, right? Who are into abuse, who abuse people, either financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, verbally, how whatsoever they are into. So yes, because of that, because of less clarity, because of low self-esteem, low confidence, and trying to keep peace, and not expressing ourselves, not talking about how we feel, just because if we say we are scared, what if we hurt, if what we are saying hurts the other person. And there is a lot of turmoil, trust me. I mean, I grew up in an abusive family, and then after coming out of the family also, I had a lot of challenges, my relationship with friends, and there came a point where actually I just did shut down. I just closed all doors, and I spent time in isolation. Yes, I spent time in isolation, and that is the time a lot of this reflection happened, a lot of this churning, reflection, realization. And then I realized that you know, these abusive parents, they are into giving a little bit of, you know, validation and bait to, you know, keep you into doing what they want you to do. And we keep on, you know, doing, we often overdo, we follow the wrong means also just to please them and be a good boy or a good girl in the eyes of our parent. And but we are not given that cookie, that validation, that credit, that reward. That is only rare, you know, it's not a regular occurrence where the reward is given. It's rare, and because of that we do more, and it's sad. I mean, like, when I realized that I had overdone, you know, for my family, I realized, and it was quite a different experience. I felt as if I wasted a lot of time, energy, emotion, money, and the return was zero, because later on, you know, I tried, you know, understanding, you know, after some time spending alone, after coming out of all that toxic phase and abusive phase. I spent some time alone, and then I again, you know, went back to see how things were functioning. And then there was like more of this pressure, that we knew that you were not enough and now you are worst. So now you can understand, first they control you by saying that you are not enough, then you are overdoing it, you are just on your four, you know, I mean on your four to, you know, get validation and approval, and you overdo it, and you start hiding things, how you feel, even though how much you are abused, and you are scared if you, as it is, they see you as not enough, and then if you start expressing how you feel, they might just abandon you. So this fear of abandonment, rejection, a lot of thing goes, you know, and I think it really makes our life miserable. So you know, we need to understand that we need to create more awareness about abuse. Abuse is not always if somebody chases you with a stick or a sickle. Abuse could be financially, emotionally, verbal. A lot of different levels abuse can happen. So, you know, the best way is to create awareness about what abuse is and what are the various types of abuse that happens. And the best solution is, you know, to say no to abuse. And just by saying no is enough, because no is a complete sentence. So yes, say no to abuse. And there is nothing good that you will get by enduring abuse, by suffering abuse. Yeah, often what happens that, you know, people tend to have a little bit of realization, you know, they begin to have a little bit of realization that they are being abused, but still they don't come out and they don't say no. Why? Because they have taken up the role of a peacekeeper. They don't want to disrupt the peace, you know, they want to be that good kid in the family, and they will take it till the time the parent is not dead. They'll keep on, you know, trying to please them. They'll go you know, right and left and up and down and do anything and everything possible so that they are validated as enough. And they will do the same thing because they are trained and conditioned in such a way from the family. They will do the same thing in their other relationships, and there is this series of abuse that surrounds, you know, people like us. And yes, so one has to think and put a full stop and learn to say no. If a relationship is abusive, be it parent, children, brother, sister, friends, lovers, husband, wife, whatever, abusive relationships are abusive. Abusive relationships can make you dysfunctional for life. Yeah, and can create a lot of blocks, can stop you from being yourself, can stop you from reaching your full potential, can stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. So yes, don't tolerate abuse, even if it is your partner, your mother, your father, whatever. Abuse is abuse. So that is the reason I stress on, creating more awareness about abuse, because in our society, if you see, abuse has been so beautifully legitimized under the guise of moralities, social ethics, religion, that if you see, at every level there is an abuse. People are abusing people, and there is a fraction that is getting abused, and there is a faction that abuses, and then the abused one becomes the abuser, the next generation abuser. So it's a never ending vicious cycle of abused and abusers. So say no to abuse, even at the cost of being alone or being abandoned. It's better to be abandoned and be peaceful, rather than being abused and being in a big family and surrounded by people and being constantly abused. Yeah, it's better to be happy alone than to be with someone and be abused. So think about it, and let me know your thoughts. And yes, no is the bestest answer to any kind of an abuse. And yes, of course, we have to create awareness, and that's it. Life is beautiful, so live life to the fullest, and live life without any regret. You are enough, and you don't need others' validation to feel that way. You are the best. Take care of yourself, and do comment below your thoughts. Please do like, share, subscribe the channel. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.